I just wanted to give people, the stragglers, an opportunity, but away we go. Okay, so I'll call the May 28th, 2020 Pedestrian Bike Transit Committee meeting to order. And Mark, you have the role, I assume?
Yeah, so we have, yeah, and you can all see each other. Well, Kathy, are you only participating by phone, Kathy?
I don't know. I buy my computer, but I don't know how to get a visual.
Well, let me help you with that. Let's see if we can help you. So at the top of your Zoom, so you can't see what is, you don't have anything on your screen from the meeting then, is what you're saying, right?
No, I have the agenda and I can see everyone else.
Okay,
we just can't see you.
Can you see the agenda scrolling right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're with us.
Yes.
If you wish to be visible, do you have a camera on your computer?
Oh, let's not make me do anything. Let's just.
Okay.
Let's run with it the way it is then.
Yes.
That's fine. I was trying to help you to
Thank
more
you.
fully. Yep,
Yeah,
you're
thank
welcome.
you.
All right.
All
Our
right.
next,
So yes, we have a quorum.
Okay, they're very good. Thank you, Mark. Our next agenda item is an opportunity for public comment. Does anybody have any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move to the minutes. Has everybody gotten an opportunity to look at the minutes?
We do have more people present. I'm sorry, Jim Schutz is logged in. I don't know if he just got here or not. Jim, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking now on my, oh, and I'm sorry, Nate Day and Peter Connor are here too. I don't see them on my screen though. I see them on my iPad. So I'm sorry I didn't mean to slight you fellows. So Jim Schutz and Nate Day and Peter Connor are here as well. So we have 8 present. Wonderful.
Very good.
Okay.
Minutes. Does anybody have a motion for minutes?
Move approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Who was the second? Who was the second?
Jim, were you?
Okay.
If we can just announce who makes the motion and who seconds it, it helps the minute taker.
Yeah.
I recorded it as moved by West, seconded by Schutz.
Thank you.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item for discussion is the North Mendota Trail, West Segment, Phase A, award of bid. Mark?
Yes, so I'm very pleased to report something that probably doesn't happen too often, but where a bid came in below the engineer's estimate by 16%. So we are saving about $44,000, I think is what $44,000 roughly. The engineer's estimate is on the bid tab right here. I'll blow this up so it's easier to see. So the engineer's estimate is in the left column. It's $276,781, and then the bid from T2 Contracting, which is out of Toma, is $232,903. So that is roughly $44,000 lower. The design engineering firm, Sam Herheim from Kale Engineering, did note in her summary to me when they did the bid tab, the bid openings last Thursday, everything was in order, no errors, no apparent unbalanced bids. So they had told me they had not worked with T2 Contracting before, but they see no reason from references and from what they've checked around, they see no reason why we should not award the contract to T2, and so that is our recommendation.
Does anybody have any further questions or comments? Would somebody like to make a motion recommending approval of this? Or
this is Kathy Olson. I'll make the motion to approve the bid.
I'll second it, Susan.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none.
The motion I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. So the motion I'm recording is to recommend that the Finance Committee and Common Council award of the construction contract to T2 in the amount of $232,903. That's how I recorded the motion. If that's
that
okay.
is right.
That's what I heard Kathy say.
That's right on. Yep.
All right.
Very good. Okay, we'll call the vote then. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's kind of exciting news. We've been after this for a long time. So it's good
Yeah,
to get,
we're
it's good to get a piece started.
Yes.
All right, our second item is related. It's the North Mendota Trail West Segment Phase A. It's an amendment to the agreement with KL for engineering, for construction engineering services. Mark, you want to give a brief rundown?
Yes, and I'm sorry this wasn't in your packet earlier. I will take the responsibility for that. Yesterday, as I was talking with KL, in the course of discussing with Sam next steps, she said, well, we don't have the construction as part of our agreement. And I went double checked, and that actually rang a bell with me right away. And I said, well, can you put together a proposal? Because I checked with Sean Stowski, our civil engineer, or I mean, our city engineer, and he did not have the staff to dedicate to monitoring the construction. So it's quite common to have agreements with the design engineering firm to also provide construction services. So they put together the proposal. I got it late this afternoon and sent it to you right away. And that's what you have on the screen here is their letter. They have a not to exceed cost of $25,790. It's basically at a, you know, Nate can probably help me out here, but it's basically, instead of a lump sum, it's an hourly basis agreement. So it could end up being less, but it won't be more, which is nice. And then here's the amendment to the agreement. You know, assuming the tasks that they're going to do, we ask them to provide monitoring twice a day as necessary, but up to twice a day. The project will probably last about 6 weeks. So here are the tasks that they're going to do. Items that will be regularly but not continuously observed, and then you see the list there: excavation and concrete placements, etc. It gets technical. And then items that will receive occasional observation are listed next. You know, traffic control, erosion control, pavement marking, all other operations not specifically identified herein. They will also do construction survey and staking, and that gets detailed, but everything seems in order to me. They will have to do some sampling and testing. So they did some samples, of course, when they were doing the design, but as they do construction, more details might be unearthed. So they will have this, anything that comes up will be done by CGC, which we have a contract with an annual contract with the city. So that would be done by them. Services not provided are listed here as well. So, and that seems in order too with this is again using our template, the city's template for amendments. I have not heard from Sean Stowski yet if everything is in order, but if you want, we can include in the motion, if you are amenable to supporting this, we can have some language, you know,
Subject to review
by city engineer and city attorney, if you want. That would be a good idea to include that. Really, it's very, in my view, it's straightforward. I don't deal with projects like this very often, but this, I'm sure I mean, KL does this all the time, and our city engineer will review anything that's out of order. So they estimate 256 hours at a cost of $25,790 or less. So and this would be a recommendation to the Finance Committee and Council as well.
I would recommend recommend to council approval of the oversight in an amount not to exceed 25, whatever, with subject to approval by the city engineer.
And
cover all of it?
Yeah. Yep, it's what you're approving is amendment number 2 to the agreement with KL Engineering is what you're approving.
Okay.
Can I just ask one quick question before we go into motions?
Yes, Nate,
Right.
please.
I can't remember if there was any grant assistance with this project. I know we returned some of the grant money, but sometimes that precludes the design engineer from taking on the construction administration. So I just want to make sure we're on the same wavelength here. kind
No,
of a
the answer
conflict
is-
of interest sometimes. So
Right.
it's-
And that helps answer the question that Dan asked me yesterday, and I appreciate you saying that because I didn't answer that as clearly as I could have now that I understand the question better. So, correct, there is no grant money involved here. That was one of the, we had originally received a it used to be called enhancements, a transportation alternatives grant, I think, a couple of years ago. It was for about it was under $300,000 for the entire segment. And, we are well beyond that. And to comply, to dot the I's and cross the T's of that grant, I was advised by a couple different people, another consulting firm, as well as Dane County. It just did not, for that amount of money, did not make sense to have to comply with all the conditions of the federal grant. So, so we decided to turn that back. We weren't the only ones, by the way, that did that. Another municipality or the county, one of the two, did that as well in that cycle here in Dane County. So we are using TIF, Tax Increment District Number 5 funding for this project. Was it 50%? Or Dan, you might remember that better than me. Is it entirely TIF, or is it 50? I can't remember if the council authorized a lump sum of 1.4 million, 1.3 million.
I
For the
think it's
west.
all TIF.
Yeah, I think
This project is being funded by TIF.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if there was a 50% cap on it. And no, so
No,
it's
there
all
wasn't.
TIF. Yeah,
All TIF.
thank you. Yeah. So the design work and the construction work of both west segments phase A and B were budgeted for between 1.3 and 1.4 million. I don't remember the exact number. So I actually am optimistic that with this, since we're below the engineer's estimate, even with this contract amendment, we're still below. I think we're on track to, we don't know what the cost to do the second phase, going from Allen Court up the hill to the traffic signal at Highland Way. We don't know that one yet, but we haven't quite wrapped up all the details for that one because we need the homeowners to consent to the granting of the easement, which Dan and I are working on. But yeah, I think we're in good shape for phase A.
But, so to answer Nate's question, there's no grant money for this project, so there would not be that conflict.
Yeah,
That's
I appreciate you asking that, though. It helps everyone to understand that, including me. So I have West making the motion. Was there a second or not?
Not
No,
yet.
we haven't had a second yet.
I'll second that.
Nate
I'm
seconds.
sorry, who was that? Was that
Nate,
you
is that
said?
you?
Nate seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
That pretty much wraps up our agenda. Let's see,
Yeah.
was there anything else on it?
No,
No?
I don't really have any updates.
Okay.
If you have questions on anything, I can give you general updates, but we don't have anything listed specifically. But Kathy was asking me earlier about transit ridership before the meeting started, and we don't have any update there other than transit has, I think the ridership is at about 10% of what it used to be. But as we start to reopen, Metro hopes that by September they'll be back up to 60% ridership. At least that's what they were saying a month ago. That was their goal. But I'll get an update for the next meeting on transit. There's somebody asking a question with the hand up here. Who is that? MV Home. I don't know who that is. Is that any? You have your audio on. If there's, I don't know who that is though. Okay.
Okay.
Don't know how to. They're not responding, but their audio is on, camera is off.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't have any other updates. Well, I'll just mention the comprehensive plan. We're trying to wrap this up here this week. Well, transportation will be wrapped up this weekend. And there's a couple other chapters. So we'll start taking a draft of the comp plan back to the Plan Commission, possibly as early as the first meeting in June. My guess is more likely the second meeting in June. And that's all I have, Dan.
Okay, very, very good. Thanks, Mark. If nobody else has anything, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Jim, and I think we should adjourn.
Okay, do we have a second to that? I'll
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of adjournment? Aye.
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 Right.
We are adjourned. Thank you all. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
taking the time.
Okay.
All right. take
Goodbye.
care.
Bye.
Goodbye.